Good morning and happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day is the day that we honor the mothers that we have or had and the mothers that we are or love. Today, I want to recognize a special group of moms, and that are my fellow special needs moms. We have a very different experience of motherhood than many of the other moms. Moms of special needs kids have had to profoundly shift their expectations of motherhood at some point. It might be before or at birth. It might be a little further down the line. The shift was wonderfully described by Emily Pearl Kingsley in her essay, Welcome to Holland. She says pregnancy is like planning a wonderful trip to Rome. You read all the guidebooks, you make fabulous plans, you even learn a little Italian. And finally, the day of your trip comes, and you board the plane. Several hours later, that plane lands, and the pilot's voice comes over the loudspeaker and tells you the local time and temp and says, "Welcome to Amsterdam." And you look around and you say, no, this isn't right. No, I'm going to Rome. I've dreamed of going to Italy my whole life. I can't possibly be in the Netherlands. You might be angry at the pilot. I was angry at the pilot for a while. You asked him to take you to Italy, but he took you someplace completely different. This isn't what you planned at all. But now you are in the Netherlands. You get a few minutes to mourn that great trip to Italy you planned, but now you have to find your way in the place you've landed. You buy new guidebooks, you learn a new language, and you meet a bunch of people you never expected. Some of those people are physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech pathologists, developmental pediatricians, neurologists, social workers, and special education teachers. You aren't in Italy, but this place has its charms. It may not be as flashy. The pace is a little slower, but it's pretty nice too. There are tulips and bicyclists and amazing art. Meanwhile, your friends are coming and going to and from Italy, and they're telling you how great it is. Part of you will always think, yeah, that's what I had planned too. And the loss of that dream will always be a little bit tender, but you can't spend your life dwelling on that trip to Italy, because then you'll miss the lovely, the special, and the sacred all around you in Amsterdam. The motherhood journey is different for mothers of kids with developmental disabilities. Mother's Day itself can be very different for moms of kids with developmental disabilities. Our kids aren't likely to make a big show of gifts and telling us that you're the greatest mom ever. For our kids, that may not be their style, or it may be outside their intellectual or emotional range. For many moms of special needs kids, the day can't be different from other days because their kids require routine and sameness. So for all you special needs moms who make the same food over and over because that's all your kid will eat, I recognize you today. For all their moms who do their darndest to keep the routine the same and to manage when the routine is upended, I recognize you today. For every mom desperate for a respite day because you can't just leave your kids with the local high school kid, so you just don't go out, I recognize you today. For all the moms struggling to ensure that their neurotypical, i.e. normal, children know that they and their concerns and successes are just as important as those of their special needs sibling, I recognize you today. For all the moms who worry if their children will ever make friends, will be able to live on their own, or find a place in the adult world, I recognize you today. Our special needs kids are still fearfully and wonderfully made, and so are their moms. For all the moms, I leave you with Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Thank you.